And we are live. So I'm just waiting for a few people to join in before I introduce myself and the guest for today. So, guys, if you guys are joining in, maybe like drop a hi so that I can see people joining in. Okay, I can see people joining in. Lovely. Okay. Hi guys, I'm Avya and today I'll be going live with Dr. Shibani Bhatia. She is a consultant dermatologist practicing in Mumbai with 4 years of experience. She has presented in various international and national conferences and she pursues clinical and advanced procedural dermatology, particularly in the field of injectables. And today we're going to talk about, picking the right skincare products and much more. So if you guys have any questions for her, you can feel free to drop in. I'm just going to check in if she has joined in. So yes, I'm going to see where. Okay, here she is. Lovely. Hi, doctor.
Hi.
How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. I hope everything's great and safe at your end.
Yes, yes.
Perfect. So, before you joined in, I was telling people that today we're going to talk about, picking the right skincare, like how important it is. And the first step to picking the right skincare is actually knowing your skin type, right?
Correct, correct. Yeah.
And we all literally struggle with that. We don't know. Like half of the time we're just confused. And it depends on the weather and everything. So why don't you start by telling us how to pick the right skincare products? Like
Okay.
the
As you rightly said, before picking up any product for that matter of fact, first you need to know what is your skin type. That's like the ABC before you start your skincare routine. So, one thing is, first of all, to determine your skin type, there are various complicated methods as well. But the simplest way is, so take a gentle non foaming cleanser, wash your face with that, pat dry with the towel, and post that, do not apply anything on the face. Don't even apply your moisturizer or your sunscreen. Post 2 hours, notice how your skin feels. Okay, so now I'll divide the skin types for you all. The basic types, skin types would be, there's normal skin type, there's a dry skin type, there is oily skin type. Okay, these are, and there's combination. So these are the 4 types. So now if in case post washing your face after 2 hours, your face feels really shiny and feels a little oily throughout the face, that means your skin is oily. All right. If in case you wash your face and it feels dry, it feels stretchy, it feels slightly too stretchy and flaky, that means you have a dry skin type. If in case it feels normal, you might have slight shininess all over the face, that's absolutely normal, that means you have a normal skin type. And if in case you experience that the center of your face, that is commonly known as the T zone, feels oily, whereas your cheeks, the sides of the face, feels either dry or it feels normal, that means you have a combination skin type. So these are the broad 4 types of skin that are present. Now some people are like, I have a sensitive skin. So sensitive skin per se is not a separate skin type, but it can fit into any one of the skin types that are there. Like you
Okay.
could have sensitive skin in a dry skin type, in an oily skin type, in a normal skin type, or in a combination skin type also. Now, what do you mean by sensitive skin? Sensitive skin is basically when your skin becomes, like, your cheeks become really red too soon. If you go out in the sun or if you try on some new product, it becomes red. It gives you burning sensation. That means that is what is called as sensitive skin type. So sensitive
Okay.
skin can fit into any of the other 4 skin types.
Okay. Makes sense. And also, so what products, since we have now spoken about the our skin types, what products are ideal for a skincare regime? Because now, earlier it used to be quite generic, okay, cleansing, toning, moisturizing, and with
Correct.
time we have seen oh my god, there are some 7, 8 steps, and we all are with the help of internet and everybody on there you should use this and that. What are the ideal products for a skincare, in terms of how you've divided oily, dry combination?
Okay, so see, one thing I'll be telling is that the different ingredients that would be required for different skin types, you can incorporate it in your cleansers, in your serums, in your, moisturizers, that would depend. So now first I'll talk about oily skin. Now, if in case you've got oily skin type, the must active ingredients that should be there in your routine should be benzoyl peroxide, should be retinoids, then should be salicylic acid, then azelaic acid, and niacinamide. So these are few ingredients that should be present in an oily skincare routine. Okay, your benzoyl peroxide could be present in your face wash or your body wash or as a gel. Your salicylic acid can be present, you can use it as again as a face wash or as a gel for your face, or it can also be used as an exfoliator. When it comes to your retinoids, you incorporate it in your serums at night, or you could incorporate it as a cream at night, depending on if you have active acne or no. And then when it comes to your azelaic acid, you can use it in a cream or gel form, which helps in controlling your oily skin as well as your acne and acne marks also. So these are few things for oily skin. Now when it comes to dry skin, so for dry skin, we need to repair the skin barrier, because what is happening is that the skin is losing its lipids. So we need to restore the skin barrier. Now for that, we need some heavy ingredients, like heavy moisturizing emollient ingredients. Like we could use a shea butter, or you could use lanolin, plant-based oil like jojoba oil. All of these would really fit in well for dry skin. I think I've lost you. You're there, right? Okay, yeah, fine. So these are few ingredients, plus obviously some other hydrating ingredients like glycerine and hyaluronic acid should be present in your dry skincare routine. When it comes to combination type, so combination type would now differ. So usually when it for combination skin, your product should change from season to season, I would say. So when it comes to the winters, you would need a more thicker products, more thicker moisturizers would be required. Even your cleansers, your face wash should change to a cream based cleanser during the winters. Whereas when it comes to summers, you should use lighter products. You should maybe go in for a more hydrating agent like a hyaluronic acid, and your cleanser should also become more foam based or gel based. So these are few things that the products would differ according to the skin type. That's how it would be.
So like according, like you mentioned, like according to the seasons. Now even like for example, for an oily, like somebody's, for example, I have a super oily skin type. So like during like cold, I would need like more moisturizing. But again, like especially when we talk about oily or dry or something, so it depends on the weather as well, right? So you're suggesting like it should be like we should rotate it like according to the season.
Should differ, but it's not like you need to rampantly change it, not like you need to completely change it. So as I said, probably when it comes to moisturizers, you would require a more thicker, like an occlusive based moisturizer during the winters, whereas a thinner moisturizer during the summers. That's how it would be. But your basic skincare routine should remain the same.
Okay. Also, when you spoke about, the body wash, also it reminded me that, a lot of people, they go through like a lot of acne issues and, body acne. So do they also like the body type, like they also have like a type, like in terms of skin, like, is it oily or dry? According to that, do they also have a type?
Generally, also our body has some oily areas. Okay. That's why you get back acne more in the midline of the back. When then it comes to your axillary region, your underarm. So these areas tend to be oily in general. See, you cannot say that the body skin generally is more tougher than the face skin. It is more thicker as well. So certain areas are oily, and obviously if you have an oily acne prone skin, your body skin would also pretty much be on the same lines. But the products which we use on the face cannot be used on the body, and vice versa, because the body skin is thicker. It requires more concentration, whereas your facial skin is thinner. It requires a lesser concentration. So that's why a lot of people tend to use the same body lotion and like body moisturizer and face moisturizer, which is a complete no-no. That's too harsh for your face.
True. I have been guilty of that. But also, I really want to touch upon this topic called SPF, because I am sure, like, even this is something that even I go through. I have a super oily skin. So I'm always hesitant of applying like a lot of products on my skin, like SPF, then moisturizer, and like all of that. And, be it a gel-based SPF or like a cream-based, whatever it is. So what kind of SPF, like according to the skin type, you would suggest?
Okay. So see, sometimes what happens is, first of all, one thing is, don't forget to apply a moisturizer. Don't forget to apply your sunscreen, even if you have oily skin, because if you don't apply moisturizer to oily skin, it's going to produce more oil. It's going to feel like the body is not getting enough oil, so it will paradoxically produce more oil. So you should not forget applying a moisturizer. So generally, if in case you have an oily skin, you can probably skip your moisturizer in the morning. And there are sunscreens which do have certain moisturizing ingredients in them. Like they would contain some ceramides, or they would contain some glycerin, which are basically moisturizing ingredients. So that way you can skip that moisturizer in the morning. But since you're not applying a moisturizer a sunscreen at night, don't forget to apply a moisturizer at night. Now, when it comes to sunscreen, SPF, okay, SPF is very, very essential. It's like uh, it's like toothpaste for you. You don't get out of your house without brushing your teeth. So similarly, you should not get out of your house without applying SPF. Now, when it comes to people, yes, people do tend to avoid sunscreen thinking because it gives them breakouts. So generally, I
Yeah.
would suggest for those kind of people that you go in and try to apply a physical sunscreen. There are certain sunscreens. So sunscreens come under the broad umbrella of two types. Basically, there is a physical sunscreen, there are chemical sunscreens. So physical sunscreens are the ones which contain iron oxide and titanium dioxide, whereas your chemical sunscreens are the one which contain some organic filters like octrilene, avobenzene, oxybenzone. All of these ingredients are there, which basically can give rise to breakouts or can give rise to some rashes in some people. So if in case
Okay.
that bothers you, if you feel that the particular sunscreen is giving you breakouts, then might as well go for a pure physical sunscreen containing iron oxide and titanium dioxide. So
Okay.
these could be incorporated. Another change, as you mentioned already, go in for a gel based sunscreen, go in for a lighter sunscreen as compared to a thicker sunscreen. So depending on the formulation, go in for a lotion base or go in for a gel base. Don't go in for a thicker base sunscreen. Another common myth that people have is that silicone based sunscreens can give rise to breakouts, which is quite the opposite. In fact, silicone based sunscreens tend to clog your pores the least. So don't hesitate in picking up a silicone based sunscreen or silicone based product for that matter of fact, whether it's for your face or for your hair.
Okay. So are you suggesting like, so what about dry skin and combination, like people, for them, what sunscreen, like in terms of the base, gel, cream, what would you suggest like works best for
For
them?
dry skin, obviously, you're going for a cream-based sunscreen. Whereas for your combination skin, it depends on how what is suiting you. In the end, the best sunscreen is the one you will use every day. Make sure that your sunscreen has an SPF of more than 30. Not necessary; it has to be 50 for sure. Even 30 is good enough. Your SPF 30 gives you like around 93 to 95% sun protection, whereas your 50 would give you a 97% sun protection. So it's not that much of a difference. So make sure your SPF it has an SPF of more than 30. It does contain at least both physical and chemical filters, if not only physical filters. So these are few things that you should take care of. Try to reapply your sunscreen every 2 hours until the afternoon, because the sunscreen tends to get off. Even if you rub your face, it is going to get off from your face. And generally also your skin is going to produce oil. It is the sunscreen is going to get off your face, so try to reapply it every 2 hours. So these are some general rules about sunscreen despite your skin type. When it comes to what type, yes, oily skin, go in for gel base. When it if you have dry skin, go in for a cream base. For combination and normal skin, it would really depend on what is suiting your skin.
But you specified that after every 2 hours, because but don't you think, like, because we're outside and the build up that we have, like, like we're going out, it's now pollution and everything, and we're applying more on it. Do you think it's gonna like react or anything do to our skin any which way? Like,
It's not going to, but some people do feel that their skin is greasy or they have
yeah.
marks on. So how do I reapply my sunscreen? So certain there are different ways how you can reapply your sunscreen. One way is that
Okay.
you can, if you have makeup on, there are various sunscreen powders that are available just for a touch up.
Oh.
That won't
Hmm.
provide as
Okay.
much protection, but that's another option. Second thing is, okay, remove your makeup a little, apply sunscreen, and retouch up your makeup again. If that's another thing you can do if you have heavy exposure of sun. there are some sunscreen sprays also available which you can spray on your face for touch-up basis. So these are few things that we can take care of. You can keep some wipes with yourself, keep some wet wipes, just dab your skin a little and reapply it. Also, there are tinted sunscreens available now. For people who tend to
Yeah.
keep light makeup on their face, tinted sunscreen is an amazing option. So you
Hmm.
can always reapply that over your normal sunscreen if you have makeup on, or just apply that as your sunscreen plus makeup.
Makes sense. Also, you mentioned exfoliation. Now, this is that one thing that I have been reading on the internet quite often, that physical versus chemical, because
Yeah,
it should be included in our skincare routine,
correct.
So I want to ask two questions. First is that how often, like as per the skin type, one should exfoliate, and second, what is this whole debate thing about physical and chemical, and which one do you think is better? What would you recommend to people?
Okay, now see, so physical sunscreen is basically with those granules would be present, your normal body scrubs and your face scrubs that are there, which give you a very satisfying feeling once you use it. But ideally, they are not the best thing that you should use on your skin. I would
Hmm.
suggest even if you use it, don't use it too often. Maybe once in 2 weeks, once in 3 weeks should be fine. So physical
Okay.
sunscreen gives you that gratifying feeling, but it's
Hmm.
not really doing the job. It's just removing the dirt and the grit from your face. But
Hmm.
whereas when it comes to your chemical sunscreens, what your chemical exfoliators, so your chemical
Exfoliating.
exfoliators would include like your AHAs, your BHAs, PHAs, all of
Hmm.
these things. So that would be glycolic acid, salicylic acid. What these do is they basically literally shed the top layers of the skin so that there is generation of new skin from within. So that is the
Hmm.
actual exfoliation process that is occurring. Now, how do you incorporate these in your routine? So your glycolic acid is the most common and probably the most like used exfoliator that is used, a chemical exfoliator. How you can incorporate that in your regime would be, you could incorporate it as a toner. You could also
Hmm.
use it as like a peel, a mild peel, which could be used once in 2 to 3 weeks. Best thing would
Hmm.
be go down to your dermatologist clinic, get a chemical peel containing one or a mixture of these ingredients. They would decide best depending on your skin type, and you
Hmm.
can basically do those peels once every 2 to 3 weeks or once in a month, which would help exfoliate your skin, and you will see it become clearer, and also it basically helps regenerate your skin as well.
Okay. And also, Priya is asking you that are those chemical exfoliates good for all skin types?
So now see again, even chemical exfoliants, we would change it a little bit depending on the skin
Hmm.
type. When it comes
Okay.
to your, if you have an acne prone skin, you can go in for a
Hmm.
salicylic acid based exfoliator. That works really well because it goes deep inside your pores and it tends
Hmm.
to clean them and reduce the oil and the sebum secretion of the skin.
Hmm. Hmm.
When it comes to your
Hmm.
dry skin, lactic acid is a very good chemical exfoliator because lactic
Okay.
acid is again, it's again an alpha hydroxy acid, which provides a lot of hydration to the skin. So if you have a dry
Hmm.
skin type, using a lactic acid based exfoliator would really suit your skin. And when it comes to, if you have acne prone skin, going in for as I said, salicylic acid. If you have oily skin, also again salicylic acid. If you have more of like a sensitive skin, then we would start with again a very mild concentration of alpha hydroxy acids like
Hmm.
mandelic acid or glycolic acid. So these would be, it would depend, differ a little bit from skin type as well, each skin type.
Okay. Makes sense. Also, I saw like somebody asked about serums.
Yeah.
So can we please talk about now everybody started including serums in their skincare routine as well. Now it's like cleansing, toning, serum, like 10 types of serum and then moisturizer. So can we please talk about that as well?
Yeah, so serum is one of my favorite topics as well. So basically, serums contain active ingredients. Now, all your products contain active ingredients, but
Hmm.
serum
Hmm.
contains them in a more higher concentration. So that's why when you need to apply it entirely on your face, and that should be the first thing that goes on your face post cleansing, as you rightly mentioned. You cleanse your face,
Hmm.
then you apply your toner if in case you are, and if you're not applying any medicated creams, then you use a serum immediately. Now
Okay.
using serums, now when it comes to using serums, there is one serum I would I suggest all my patients to incorporate in their routine. That would be a vitamin C serum that goes in the morning. Now, whatever type of skin type, whatever your skin type may be, a vitamin C serum is must. It is really, really good for your skincare routine. What it does basically, so vitamin C acts in many ways on our skin. It's an antioxidant, so it helps deal with the oxidative stress. There's a lot of oxidative stress, free radical damage that occurs on to our skin because of various reasons like lifestyle, pollution, aging,
Yeah.
damage from the sun because of the UV rays, poor like smoking, drinking. All these factors cause DNA damage. So vitamin C acts as an antioxidant and it prevents that free radical damage from occurring. That way, the DNA doesn't get damaged, and our collagen, which is the support tissue of our skin, gets regenerated. So that way, it works really well. It prevents your oxidative damage. It's basically doing an anti-aging mechanism also that way. Plus, the pigment cell of our skin, that is known as melanin. Okay. Vitamin C basically reduces the production of melanin. So that way, it
Okay.
decreases the pigmentation, the excess pigmentation that is present in your skin. It would reduce that as well. Also, vitamin C has sun protective effect also. So along with your SPF, a vitamin C serum goes very well hand in hand. It goes hand in hand. So in the mornings, you should be using it. Don't use it at night because it has an acidic pH. As the day passes,
Okay.
your skin tends to become more alkaline. So do apply. Yeah, it's better you apply it in the morning. Plus, it's giving you sun protection as well. So it should always go in the morning. So this is
Okay.
one
Makes
serum
sense.
I would suggest. If in case you have oily skin, then you can incorporate a niacinamide based serum. You can incorporate a retinol serum in your routine because that is going to help improve the skin cell turnover. It's going to reduce the oiliness of the skin. If in case you feel there are like how should I use both niacinamide serum and retinol serum, you can use a niacinamide based moisturizer and top it like combine it with a retinol serum. That is another thing that can be done.
Okay. Makes sense. And also, that's the reason why I've seen like most of the brightening and all those products have like vitamin C
Yeah,
because you
correct.
spoke about melanin. Yeah. Okay. And also, can you like maybe like just tell everybody what is the correct way of like skincare, like the regime, like how it
Yeah,
should, because a lot of people get confused there.
yeah, that is very, very essential. So see, in morning, the first thing that like after you cleanse your face and then if your plus minus your toner, first thing that should go on your face is any spot treatment or any medicated creams that you're using because that requires maximum absorption. Post that, you apply your antioxidant serums, whether it's your vitamin C or vitamin E, ferulic acid, whichever one is it, you apply that. Then you apply your moisturizer, and then sunscreen is the last thing that goes on your face. If in case you're not using a serum in the morning or at night, then you apply the moisturizer directly on damp skin because that's when it's going to get maximally absorbed. So that's how it should be. Like the basic routine which everyone's been following since years is CTM, that is cleanse, toning, and then moisturizing. That is something you can do if in case you're not using a serum. Then when it goes at night, the order should be the same again. Cleanse your face, that is use your face wash. Post that, use a serum. Ideally, like I prefer using and asking people to use a retinol serum at night. Then you let your face dry a little. After that, don't apply your moisturizer immediately. Keep some gap and then apply your moisturizer. This should be your night routine. If it's always good to incorporate an eye cream or eye serum also. So if in case you're using that at night, you wash your face, apply a hyaluronic acid based eye serum, then let your face dry, apply the retinol serum, and then apply your moisturizer. This is a general routine which anyone can
Okay. But when it comes to using serums, what's the proper age to like start the
see.
that routine?
Yeah, so I would say that until probably 22, 23, our skin is at its best. Actual aging starts at 24, which people might not believe. But all until 24, your skin is 23, 24, your skin is naturally producing the lipids properly. It's functioning properly. But once you hit that 20, 23, 24 age, that's when the sun damage, the aging effect starts to overpower. So around that time would be the best time to start incorporating any anti-aging regime, whether it's serums or it's your moisturizers or a proper sunscreen also.
Makes sense. Also, there's one more thing. I'm sure a lot of like, especially in Indian households, whenever we have an issue with our skin, our
Yeah.
mothers, our grandmothers, they always like, they're like, raid the kitchen. Go to the kitchen, you're going to find everything while using this or that. So can we please talk about, kitchen products? Are they good for your skin?
So
Like,
see,
according to like, yeah.
this is a very controversial topic, and it is always comes. So
Yeah.
the thing is, when it comes to natural ingredients or when it comes to using products at home, they sometimes they can cause an allergic reaction to your skin. Like commonly we use turmeric. Turmeric is
Hmm.
a known allergen. It can cause a full-blown contact dermatitis in people. So
Okay.
these kind of
Hmm.
things should not be used. Using a toothpaste on your acne, that is going to dry it out more. Again, it's going to cause irritation. Using lemon on your face, it's
Lemon.
too acidic. Lemon, because they feel like, okay,
Hmm.
citrus fruits, vitamin C, but that's not how it is supposed to be applied. It is too acidic to be applied on your face.
Yeah.
So it's always better, like even when you talk about, forget about picking up natural like as in picking up things from the kitchen. Even when we talk about natural products, there's this whole gung-ho about using natural products on your face. That is just a marketing gimmick. There is nothing which is natural.
Hmm.
Even if a product is used which is plant based or it is organic, there are always going
Yeah.
to be some ingredients in it to keep it stable, for its absorption to be more. So there are going to be chemicals present in it either ways. So this whole thing about being organic or being natural is actually just a marketing gimmick.
Hmm, true. Also, lastly, what are the best antioxidants for the skin if you had to like suggest? Like, what would those be?
Okay, so first of all, there are vitamins which act as antioxidants. There's vitamin
Hmm.
C, I already mentioned. Then there's vitamin B3, which is niacinamide, which I already spoke about. It works really well as a soothing agent for your skin. It's
Yeah.
anti-inflammatory, reduces the inflammation. It also decreases pigmentation of the skin. So that's another one of my top favorite antioxidants. Then there's green tea. Green tea, we are anyway, we know that it's a rich antioxidant. That's why we tend to have it or like
Yeah.
drink it as well. Even for your
Hmm.
skin, you can incorporate in your masks, or there are cleansers containing green tea. Green tea
Hmm.
again has
Hmm.
a good antioxidant, and it's a very good antioxidant for sensitive skin. So that's another one of
Okay.
my favorites. Then there's coenzyme Q10. That's again a very popular antioxidant that is which you can incorporate in your routine. You could,
Hmm.
it is present in some moisturizers as well, so you could incorporate it that way. Then there's centella. Centella again comes in various it's another soothing and antioxidant agent which is present in moisturizers. So these are few of
Okay.
the antioxidant. Retinoids can also be considered as an antioxidant in some ways because it's improving your cell turnover, but mainly
Hmm.
it would be your vitamin A, vitamin B3, and yes, vitamin E. I forgot. Vitamin E again is a very good antioxidant.
Okay. Also, lastly, would you like to, do you have like a share of like those tips that you swear by, that you would like literally tell everybody that guys do this, guys don't do this to your skin? What would those be? Like a little pointers that you would like to tell everybody who joined you?
Okay, so one thing I've already all mentioned, and I'll mention again: SPF, SPF, SPF. Don't forget your sunscreen at all. Even if you're at home, some people think if I'm at home, I don't need to apply sunscreen. No, the UV rays are penetrating through your windows. They are going to cause they are going to cause damage. So do not forget to apply your sunscreen. You must apply it once. If you're stepping out, reapply it reapply it after 2 hours. But if in case you're at home, at least apply it once. And sunscreen
Hmm.
should be the last thing that goes on your face. That is one thing. Second thing is, people with oily skin, don't forget to apply moisturizer. As I already mentioned, if even if you feel your skin is oily, it doesn't need moisturizer. It does need moisturizer. Go in for a lighter
Hmm.
emollient based moisturizer. Don't
Yeah.
go in for a thicker moisturizer. Then also one thing I really like to tell and want to tell everyone is, don't try too many products. You don't need to rack your shelf with too many things. Your skin does not require too many things. Keep it basic, keep it minimal. If in case you're going to
Hmm.
start trying too many products, there's always like, oh my god, I see this online, or I want to pick this up from Sephora. Don't do that.
I totally
And
agree with you here
so
because
yeah,
a lot of
before
people are guilty there.
before picking up any product, consult your dermatologist, consult a skincare professional who will help you out with what will suit your skin best. What suits your friend, your best friend, doesn't mean that is going to suit you, because that's commonly what people end up doing. That this is suiting my friend. Even if it's not a product, even if it's a treatment, I have so many people come into my clinic and be like, okay, my friend did this treatment, I want to get this done. I'm like, hello, this is not how it works. You need to first get assessed, and we need to decide what is best for your skin. So, and give your skincare product some time to act. Don't be like, I've used this for a week and it's not making any difference. Give it around a month to act before switching it, or stop using it. Another thing I want to tell is that sometimes we end up buying these face products and then we feel like, okay, it's not suiting my skin and I should stop using it. Don't throw it away. Use it on your body instead. Don't waste it. This is another thing, it might not be as effective on the body, but why waste it? At least you can apply it on your body.
That's a really helpful one. And you gave like very important, like you touched upon like almost all the important topics that we always have, like all these questions. But that was amazing. And I had like, I'm sure like it was quite informative and it was amazing, talking to you. Thank you so much for taking out time and having a little chat with me and giving out such important information to everybody here.
Thank you so much. I had a great time too, and I hope everyone's questions were solved. Soon we'll be coming up with a nice big giveaway also. So stay tuned for that by tomorrow or day after. Yeah, so have a nice.
Lovely. That's great. But thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
take care.
Yes, okay, fine. All right. Bye.
Bye.
So, guys, that was the live session for you. I hope it was super informational, and you had a great time. And for the people who joined later, I'm gonna save the IGT, like I'm gonna save the whole live as an IGTV for you guys to actually watch. So till then, guys, take care, bye, and good night, and stay safe. Maintain your distance.